Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. Today, I've got the good fortune to be with Ephraim Ebstein from Fit Solutions. He is a $30 million entrepreneur who has built 2 national companies from the ground up and now helps business leaders turn tech headaches into growth engines. Ephraim, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Seth. Excited to be on.
Our pleasure. So let's go back in time a little bit. How did you originally get started?
Man, I was getting out of high school. I didn't know what to do, and everyone said get into computers. It's kind of the future. I think it's like someone getting out of high school right now and everyone says get into AI, it's the future. It's kind of the direction I was pointed, and I ran with that because I didn't really have any other smarter options that I could think of, and so that's what I went with. And just took a while to break into the industry. Was tough, but once I was in, then I just kind of worked my way up until eventually I was at a point in my life that I said, hey, I would like to start my own business, and I made that jump.
What was the inspiration that led you to originally found Fit Solutions?
That's a good question. I would say that I missed, so at a couple things. One, my uncle was entrepreneurial when I was growing up, so I kind of always looked up to him, and there was a bug inside me, right? I had the sickness in me where I wanted to do that too, but I was afraid of risk, and I was kind of too afraid to do it. So I didn't do it for a long time. And then I was at a certain point, I was like, man, if I don't do it now, I don't know when I will. So I kind of made the decision that I have to take the risk. And then additionally, I had worked with a really cool team prior to an acquisition at another company, and I kind of missed that feeling of having just an amazing, stellar team. And I kind of wanted that back again. I wanted to kind of build up a rock star, world-class team again. And so that was my goal, and that's kind of what I did.
Awesome. What does Fit Solutions do?
So we have a few different lines of business or revenue streams. So the #1, the OG one, so to speak, is our IT services. That's the one we started with and still makes up our largest income stream, and we're really good at that. But that's just pretty simple, strategy, consulting, help desk support, network support, engineering support, everything associated with the IT infrastructure and running an IT department in an organization. And then we also branched off into cybersecurity. So we're doing monitoring, penetration testing. So we have a separate business and completely separate staff that specialize in that. And then we're also now doing a lot of AI integrations for businesses. That's kind of been the latest, hottest thing, right? Everyone wants AI. But other than getting, using ChatGPT to answer questions, like to actually have it replace staff and do certain tasks, it takes a lot of integration to make that happen. And we're really good at that. So that's that we're implementers basically of AI. So we'll take the AI technologies and implement them.
Awesome. Who is an ideal client for you?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would say that we're mostly we're very strong in the healthcare space on the IT side. On the cyber side, we're very strong on a lot of law firms as well as health, a lot of health there too. On the AI side, we're doing a lot of things that where people are trying to actively replace staff, either in um, some kind of staff replacement, so labor replacement. We're really good at that, and then revenue generation. The company, though, on the revenue generation side has to have a certain amount of either past clients, current clients, or they have to maybe have like a good lead flow. If one of those three cases exists, then we can usually help implement an AI that does a lot of revenue generation.
Cool. You have grown an immense amount. I believe over 100 team members, $30 million in revenue. What were some of the inflection points or the leaps in your growth?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think one really big one that, well, there was a lot of them. It's kind of a journey, and you have to constantly adapt and break through old ceilings to get to the new level. There was a few. So one, I had to go from just being good at engineering to really learning financial literacy and sales. And that was hard because I had never had a sales job before. No one had ever taught me sales. And so I had to actively go find mentor, do training, and really learn how to properly um, to sell properly so I could grow the business. So that was really important. And then financial literacy was huge. I also had to make hard decisions throughout the course. So one really big one was I had to make an active decision no longer to be a billable resource on the engineering side. And that sounds easy, but when you're an owner and you're controlling quality, you want to make sure that things are done right, whatever service you're delivering. And if you come from that industry, let's say you did it, whether that's accounting, architecture, in my case, engineering, it could be whatever it is. At a certain point, you have to say, I'm not going to do that anymore. Someone else has to do it, and I will refuse to do it, and I have to sit back, even if they're not as competent, not as fast, not exactly the way I would do it. And I can help train and coach and quality control maybe, but I cannot actually do the work. It's a really hard thing for a lot of business owners. And I think it's one thing that keeps a lot of businesses from going to the next level is the owner gets in the way. So I had to get out of my own way by not doing that anymore so I could then focus on revenue generation, management, growing the team, growing the client base. Because as long as I was still doing that task, yes, quality was high, but then I could never scale. There was just a lid that was being hit. So that probably happened when we were around 25 employees. I had to make that hard decision. Um, Another thing is I just kind of, as we hit other break points, kind of at you know, the $5 million mark, the $8 million mark, a lot of organizations go through the same struggles, whether they're in the same industry or not. Especially when you start introducing that middle management layer and you cannot manage every single report yourself. A lot of things kind of started coming off, the wheels started coming off organizationally. And so we had to make I had to go look for mentors to help me find people that had done it so much bigger than me and copy their success. And that was a big culture change too, when I started implementing a lot of the things that I had been learning from these mentors. I was changing how I approached the business, how I ran and managed the team. Right before I managed it like a family, and now I was managing it like a sports team. And it's a completely different feel, different thing. So you, of course, have turnover, resistance to different metrics or accountability structures, and so it was a challenge. And yeah, it took a lot of hard hits and learning, but just you just have to be tenacious and work through it.
Absolutely. You've expanded to over 100 team members. So, how do you maintain culture and alignment and accountability across a team that size, especially when they're geographically diverse?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So it's interesting because most businesses are retracting, going back to the office, and I would say if you have the option to do that, it's probably a very good thing to do. And I'm for an office culture, but because of our business, I can't quite do it. We have to put people in the field where our clients are, and our clients are national in the United States. So if I have a client in, Chicago, I got to put engineers there. If I have clients in Florida, Phoenix, and San Francisco, I have to put team members there, and they're part of the team, they're extension of the team. So that's one really big thing. The other thing is we've made an effort to be more international. So about 13, 14 of our team members are international. So once again, they can't come to the office. So we've been forced to do a remote culture, but I've learned that there are some like non-negotiables that seem small funny enough, there's a lot of resistance to um, on people that lack accountability. But once you do it, it's the only way to one, get the work out of the people that are working remotely, weeding out the bad ones, only keeping the good ones, and then also maintaining culture. And so a few of those non-negotiables are every day an all hands team meeting, and attendance is taken. If you were there without an excuse, it's an automatic write-up. And you're like, man, that seems kind of harsh for a all hands meeting where you're going over wins and metrics that you're going to write. What if they were working on a client? Well, they have to get an excused absence beforehand. If they don't, it's an automatic write-up. And you only get a few before you can't work at the company. And you think, man, that's so harsh. But the alternative and the only way to keep the culture would be then to have them come to the office. So what are you going to choose, right? And so if you go soft on it, make it any kind of optional or give any kind of leeway where they're not attending and it's okay because they can work on something else, a lot of the employees are going to opt for that. And so we go over the mission and vision on that meeting. We go over mission vision every single day. Everybody knows the mission, everybody knows the vision. Then every team has to announce their KPIs, top performers, wins. Then we do a little snip of a book reading, and then we actually go into role play. We break up into rooms and we actually role play scenarios. So that's like one example of something that we require. Another thing is kind of our how we do one-on-ones every other week. We have a manage up structure where people we don't want to micromanage people. We want them to manage up and report to us. So it's and if they can't do that, or um they find that doesn't work well for them, then there's probably not the right job for them. So because we need professionals that can like run and drive and have self accountability and discipline, and someone needs to be checked in on and followed up with and pushed. It's just they're not going to. This is not the culture for them. So I think that's where a lot of other businesses that are in that remote structure, they don't have that level of discipline, accountability, and the wheels come off in a remote environment. And that's what they're seeing. That's why they're just trying to force them back. It's an easy solution.
Yes, for those that obviously it works for. You've achieved so much success. What's your biggest challenge now?
I think, well, I have blind spots, right? I've never been in the scenario that I'm in now. We're probably going to end this year with around 38 million in revenue. So, I've never had a company that's done 38 million in revenue, and I've never been a leader of a company more than 38 million in revenue. So, what does that mean? That means I have to learn how to be a leader of $100 million company, because that's, you know, 200, 300. It's a new ball game, even 50, 75. It's all, there's these different breakpoints. So I have to figure out what my blind spots are, what my weaknesses are, and then I got to find a way to adapt and grow into that person.
Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
Oh man, I love impacting the lives of my team. Obviously, I have personal big goals that I'm excited about achieving, but I love, our mission is to impact lives touched by technology. And that means impacting the lives, obviously, of our customers and helping them with their mission and vision. So there's a great sense of pride in that. But even more dear to my heart is the team that works with me every day, right? Going in battle with me. I want them to have success with their personal, professional, financial goals. Um, not everybody in the company is going to be a millionaire, but I would like to produce. My goal is at least 5 millionaires in the journey that I'm doing that are part of my team, and then the rest of them, I want them still to achieve their goals, uh, their personal, professional, financial goals, and help them, whether it's for a short time or a long time that they're with the organization, right? It's like a train. Some people get on and some people get off, and some go down the whole ride. But for whatever duration they're here, I want it to be a vehicle that helps them get to where they're going and improve their life.
Awesome. Well, we know your time's incredibly valuable. We greatly appreciate you spending some of it with us. For our folks who are watching and listening, where can they go to learn more?
Well, of course, our website, fitsolutions.biz, but I would love to make friends. So connect to me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, Google me, whatever platform, Twitter, whatever you like to be. You can Google my name and find me, and let's connect and follow each other.
All right. Well, we greatly appreciate your time. This is Seth Greene with Ephraim Ebstein from fitsolutions.biz. This has been Seth Greene for Sharkpreneur. Thank you all for watching or listening. We will talk to you or see you next time.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.